Monitors off, and let's get going here. Please have pen and paper ready, and let us begin. Is this thing on? Okay. Right. First thing we want to do. Put me down for about like time wise. Oh no. About 40 minutes. What time are we at right now? Oh shit. Put me down for 35 minutes. See if I can wrap this up in 35 minutes. Oh God. Okay. First thing we always do, right, as soon as we come into Maya, especially on a college machine, is you kind of need to set it up the way you work, right? Mine at home, when it opens up automatically for me the way I want. Now, spacebar, hotbox, because we're modeling only. There we go. That way you don't have all that confusing stuff on your screen. Very good. Now, three main components we're going to work with today. Cube. There she is. Move her off. Alright. Cube. Cylinder. 8 sides. You can come over here to your channel box, right? Change your parameters. 8 sides. Nice. And a torus. It is Torus. Torus. Or just call it a ring if you want. Boom. Normally, I also work with 8 sides and 8 sides. So you see how much more simpler it is? It means I can manipulate it a lot easier and a lot quicker. Yes? So here are the building blocks to what we will need to build this grenade. These 3 shapes here, and from here we won't need anything else. Right? So, if you're working sometimes, like say, right now, my objects are kind of blending into the background a little too much.
Is that blocking?
My objects are blending into the background a little too much right now, okay? So, the first thing I can do is, if I want to change background color, is Alt B, Alt B, Alt A-L-T B. So if I hit Alt B, this happens. Right? I can switch in and out of different background colors. All right. Now, what I want to do is the first step to making this Okay, yeah, this is a little weird for me because when I look here on my screen, everything's squashed. Alright. That's a problem. Remember, Control A will bring up your attribute editor and also close it for you. If we hit even the channel box, even that will minimize for us, okay? So what I want to do right now is set up my work area to where I have a reference in one window and I can have my model in the other window, okay? So what I'll do is spacebar, and that will bring me out into the 4 panels, right? Spacebar will minimize and maximize windows. See? Now, this is what I want. If you see this middle line here and this horizontal line and then the middle line, you see how you can drag the windows? Yes? If I drag it down far enough, it will snap. And there you have 2 panes. Okay? I can also come into my display up top, and if I don't want my timeline or any of this stuff, because for me, I'm a modeler and it gets in the way. Okay? So I can go UI, time range, and range slider off. See how much more space I have on my screen without all that crap on the bottom? Yes. Oh, up top here, you have display. Click on display, and you see this little dotted line here, right? I can leave it like this and go in and switch one thing off at a time. But see the little dotted line on any of these menus? If you click on it, it tears it off. So now you can have it, and you can basically just come in and say, I want helpline off, you know? And you can switch all these different things on and off. Let's see, helpline. Yeah. All right. So now I've got a lot more space for my UI. You don't have to do that. I'm just doing it for the sake of this demo. Every demo, I'll keep adding new little tips and tricks like this, right? So under that, just write, or beside it, before it, or above it, just write tip and trick. Right. Tip and trick. That's one thing you want to make a separate column for. That's what I used to do. Oh, here's a tip and a trick. Oh. And I write down all the little tricks that friends tell me about. Like buddies. Oh, this chair sucks. I want one that doesn't lean back. Yeah, this one's good. Let's see if this one works. Oh, fuck. That's the worst thing you can have, with chairs that lean you back, especially if you're working for a number of hours, because you'll be leaned back, thinking you're relaxing, and your arms are like this. And you're doing that for hours, right? It's all right when you're younger, but as you get older, man, the amount of shoulder problems I've had, Not cool. That's why I had to buy in my office, my home office. I've got like a stand-up desk and everything. My Cintiq is on an arm, so I can just drag it off, pull it over here, start Z-brushing, push it away, and keep working. Oh shit, man. Oh, I gotta get out of Texas. These allergies. Okay. All right then. So they will be the main components that we use. Much better. Oh yeah. Delete. Now, right as the title, image plane. Does anybody know what an image plane is?
Yes. Plane with an image on it?
Say it again.
A plane with an image on it?
Thank you. Yes, sir? Yes, you can use it as reference, right, with a image on it. So, now that I've got my menu split in two like this, what I want to do is go to View. And by the way, before I do this, guess what? That's a top-down view. I don't want that. I don't want it down in the top-down view. So what I will do, I will hold down spacebar, go Maya, and change that to front. Okay, so it matches this window over here. Yes, sir.
How do you know, like sometimes over the past couple of days I've been trying to model some stuff, and like usually, you know, with the 4-pane screen,
Yeah.
Basically, how do you know which way is the front, like as per the X, Y, and Z axis?
Right down at the very bottom there.
We're right, but I'm saying as far as like if I start something in perspective mode.
Yes. That's right. They used to have something called, and I don't know if they've got it anymore. Let's see. It used to be called a. It was a cube.
Oh, right at the top right window.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't know what they done with that.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in probably 2 versions now.
Yeah, they took that out. I think they just hid it somewhere. But this cube would tell you what you're in. Now, basically, I just make sure that my model is always facing down the Z.
Down the Z.
Yes, and then that tells me it's in the front, right? And then that's it. And then from there, once I'm set up, I never go into front view,
Right.
side view. I don't model with all 4 windows. I'm only ever in one window, and that's perspective. Okay, so image plane time. To apply an image plane, which is reference, you go to View at the top of this window here. All right, so you have View, Shading, Lighting, Show, Render, Panels. These will do all the adjustments for you for that window alone, okay? So if I go View, Image Plane, Import Image, Display, there we go. Lovely. Okay? So there we go. There's the image plane. Okay? Now it's slightly off and it's slightly skewed as well because of the perspectiveness of it. So what I want to do is I want to bring the grenade over to what? The center. And then of my 0, 0. Remember we spoke about the 0, 0 last week? Then I want to sit it on the ground like so. Okay? The other thing you want to do is you want to push it back slightly to the edge of the grid. You notice it didn't change in this window at all because this is orthographic. Does everybody know what orthographic means? Good. All right. So with that, if I come into now my attribute window, you can see right here, image plane, shape 1. Here's where now I can say, well, all right, let me take the gain, alpha gain, to like 0.5. Too much. 0.75. There you go, perfect. Always do things in steps of 25, okay? And then if you need to adjust from there, just go up 5, you know, or down 5, and so on. It makes it easier. Don't put, I used to do this when I was younger. I used to just put numbers in. 17, 19, and someone would go, hey, what was that number you put in? I don't know. Right? Keep it in increments of either 20, and then add 5s if you need them, or 10s, right? Never just put in 6.5, 7, 8, right? Okay, cool. So now that we've got that in there, we're going to go to Channel and Layers. And now this is something new for you guys. Here's Layers. And it's not layers like in Photoshop. It's layers like we can put things in those layers and then it retains the attribute of that layer. So if we want to make things more so where you can see the object but you can't select it, we can do that. We can do a bunch of stuff with layers, right? So right here in layers we have display, we have the layers. Now the two tabs that we should be concerned about down here are the one with the little ball on it and the one with the little plus sign, okay? The ones that have arrows on them, what do you think that's for? Yes, if you have a few layers, you can move them up and down, but really it's easy to just, yeah, you can organize your layers that way. So these arrows organize your layers up and down. The arrow means add this to this layer, add this object to this layer. And then the one with the ball on it means whatever I have selected, just make a layer for it. So I've just clicked the one with the round ball on it, and it's added the image plane. So you see the V? V is for what? Visible. If I switch that on, off, there you go. Now T is template. Yeah, thank you. Did it, I forgot. Template. So that means you'll just see a wireframe of it. R is for reference only. So this means, look at that. It's not going to get in the way of me selecting it. So check this out. You know why we have that? Because say I'm animating a huge scene, or I'm modeling a huge scene. Say you three guys here have modeled an entire set, and you started on the beginning of the set, you worked on the outer part of the set, and you worked on the sky dome or whatever. I can bring all this in, and now I'm the guy that details the set. So now I can have all three of your work on separate layers, put it to all, and that means now I can't touch it. That's what I've got here in my scene, that now I can, oh, I know where to put things. Say it again? It locks the layer, yes. All locks the layer. So now I can't mess with it. I can just And then if I need to grab things up, and I can just hit the R and then I can manipulate it a little bit more. But it's stopping me from messing anything up, yeah? Awesome. Awesome. So now I have locked it. So now I can't mess with it, yeah? Here's another thing. I don't want this reference in my perspective window. I don't need it there. And then in this window, when I start to create something, I don't want nothing. Well, yes, I do. I do want geo there. Let me rephrase that. I still want to see what I'm modeling. Like, I want to see my geometry over this window, right? Over the image plane. So, here's where show comes in very handy. See all this stuff in here? It's a lot of crap. So, first thing I can do is I can come here and I can say, oh, excuse me, image planes, and I can click on the little check mark, and image planes will no longer show up in this window. I can also come to this window and go shading, turn to X-ray. Boom. See that? That means now I can model perfectly on one side, right? And I can still refer to this side to see if I'm staying accurate to whatever I am modeling. Yeah? There we go. All right. Very good. Right. So that is setup, right? How you set things up. Okay? Setting up the viewports. Now, let's get into blocking. Like I said, there's going to be what? How many stages of this that we put on the checklist? 3, right? So there's going to be blocking. From blocking, we're going to then high poly. From high poly, then we're going to go into low poly. All right. So, here we go. And remember, I will tell you the steps. Oh, man. All right. Nice. And select. Oh man, stop yawning, someone. Alright. So, first thing I'm going to create cylinder. Step 1, create a cylinder, 8 sides. Channel, change that to 8. Good. Step 2, what are we going to do? We're going to place it onto what? The floor, the ground. Snap it down to the base of the object and snap it on using the X key to the floor. Now, we are using the image as a overall general kind of, placement and size, right? That way ours comes out good. So, first thing I'm going to do, because I've snapped it down to the base, is when I scale, what's going to happen? It's going to scale from the bottom, which is good. So boom, there you go. There's the width. And I am accounting for what? Perspective. So I will scale this up. And I will take it to about right there. There you go. Good. All right. There's my cylinder in place. Lovely. Next thing we need is a cube. So I'm going to add a cube, shift right click. There's my cube. I'm going to snap the base of this down, boom. And then I will snap it up using the V key and pulling it up on the Y and snap it to the very top of the cylinder. So it's sitting on there perfectly.
That's step 3, right?
What's step 1? Step 3?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's
Step 3. Yep. Yep. So you see that? Now it is sitting directly on there. Okay? But that's not where it goes. Because it goes right here. And here.
How do we get the image plane on our perspective view?
Say it again?
The image plane on this perspective view, how do we get rid of it?
What's he saying?
how do you get rid of the image plane on perspective?
Yes, the reference.
No, switch your monitor off. Holy shit. No, you're not supposed to be doing it now. There you go.
It's 410. That's when you should stop it.
No, I don't care. It's my class. I run it how I want to run it. Okay? You do this for 20 years and then you get a class and you run it how you want to run it. Alright. So now the next thing is we will borrow from this guy, right? If you see shapes in here that you can borrow from, just borrow them, right? So if this part right here, you see this base? This is cylindrical, it looks like. Yeah? So what I can do is do what? To duplicate this. Control D, duplicate. And I know my pivot point is down at the very bottom. And I can just use V again to snap it. So I can go like this. Snap. And then I can scale down, scale down. And then scale on the Y. There you go. Okay. And then this guy needs to be scaled like so. So we have something like that. And I'm going to scale this up just a little bit more. Yep, that's about right. And then and scale like so. Okay? Very good. Very good. And then snap it. Bless you. So you see how I'm just putting the shapes into place right now. Okay? So the next shape would be what? Torus. No. Did you say the pin? Yes. The pin. Which I said the torus, meaning this little thing here. Yeah. And then we need to add then that pin part. Okay. So this is what I'm talking about with the blocking. Yes. So now I'm going to create a torus. Boom. And in channels where it has 2020, you're going to change that to what? 8 and 8. And right here where you have the radius, you can change the radius to like 0.3. Oh no, don't do that. 1. Do the section radius. And what we can do here is if we click on it and we middle mouse, we can make that small if we want, yeah? So I can bring this up, get it somewhere in the region. Like that, and then come in and scale and move it over, something like that. Okay. Now when you put these kind of shapes in the approximation, here's where you have to, you know, start to look at like scale a little, right, and adjust just a little in what you're doing. And I will add that. There you go. Okay. Now we kind of have things where we want them for now. Okay, so now it's time to add a little bit more to the cylinder and to this part up here and so on, and then we can go in and start finalizing this shape. Okay, now to start with the cylinder. And the reason why I say this, guys, is because actually no, let me continue with just finishing part of the blocking, right? And the reason why I say that is because we can quickly use this, and we can go face mode. We can select that face and that face, right? Because we want to build this long handle thing. And we can say what? Shift right click. No. Duplicate. We will always borrow from the objects that we have, yes? It makes it easier. And if we use the blue and we push out, look what happens. Alright? We borrow from those shapes. Now, here's where you have to go in and manipulate the components. Okay? What step are we on? Let's go to yellow steps. 5. Okay? 5 is block out the handle. Okay? 5, blocking out the handle. So, with it still selected, I will right click, vertice, and I will start to move it into shape. Okay? And just move the points in the general position. And now I want to extrude these edges, right? I want to now start to move more edges out. So I will go into edge mode, click on the edge, and shift, right click, extrude, and then I would just start to move. Boom.
Was that duplicate faces earlier or just duplicate period?
Duplicate faces.
Okay.
Boom. And one more. Oh, and by the way I am adding more extrudes, I just hit G. G will repeat the last thing you do. Is that my 35 minutes?
35 minutes.
All right. G will repeat the last thing you do. Okay? So if I do one more extrude or a couple of more extrudes here, shift here and then G here. There we go. Lovely. Look at that. Actually, one more here, and then G again, and here. Right. Now, the reason why I started doing that, guys, is because it is easier to manipulate what? A flat 2D plane than it is to manipulate a cube. And I'll adjust it so it's not touching. There you go. So you see how it's coming together? This is why we block all the time.
Yeah, so don't smoothen it out.
Say it again?
So don't, in other words, we don't smoothen it out. We only smoothen it out after we've got
Yeah, that's
shape,
right.
Get the shape.
We only start smoothing things out after we've got all the shapes in.
Yes, but make sure that you merge all those objects
No.
first.
No.
Okay?
Don't merge the objects before you've done any smoothing. Merging objects is when you're kind of finalizing things, yes? You want to keep all the components separate. All right. Now, what can I do with this?
You could
Yes,
smooth the faces.
Yeah, good man, good man. There you go. So, shift, extrude, and then I will extrude the faces. Now, I'll keep this window in close because, right, I'm working on that one. So, I'll extrude in. Dink. And there you go. There's my... Now, if you extrude inward, what happens?
Reverse normals.
It reverses the normals. So, if you extrude inward, write down tip and trick. If you extrude inward, it will reverse the normals and it will turn black. That's when you know you have a problem. Okay? So what will I do to fix that? I will select the object, hit the space bar, hold it down, mesh, display, reverse. Right? And now I have everything back to normal again. Alright, now watch this. Here's where now we start to shape the object. Does that make sense? When you make your flat 2D shape and then you extrude it. The flat 2D shape is just to mimic the object, right? When you extrude it, you start adding 3D to it. When you add 3D, then you have to manipulate and round the forms, right? Because it's no good leaving this as square as it can be like that. That sucks. That sucks. Right? So, I will go into vertice mode and I will start to scale in the handle down at the bottom here just a little. I will come here, right, at the top. And what I'll do, so I can get these points in thin, I will go to press B, and then that brings up my soft selection. Soft selection. B equals soft selection. Now,
What is the soft selection?
I will show you right now. So if I select these 4 vertices right at the tip here, you see how everything turned this yellow and orange? That means if I scale in this way, it means it's going to manipulate the thing that is yellow a lot more than it will the thing that is red going into black, okay? But say I don't want it to go that far down. What I can do is just hold down B and middle mouse click, and watch this before you write down anything. Okay? It means now I can scale in that guy. So I've got that tip looking like that, yeah? Say it again.
Soft select.
Soft select, B, B. And I can now take these points and I can move them. No. And if you don't want it, just hit B again. And then you can start to thin this out, right? You have to adjust the forms all the time.
And also put up the cylinder on top of it. Again.
Say that again, sir.
There's a cylinder. Cylindrical. Yes, yes. No, it's on the other end. Other end from the
Oh, yes, I know that.
small cylinder, the scale.
Yeah, I know. Hold on. We're still on this part. Okay, and so you see I'm going around now and I am starting to adjust. I want that to be a little bit bigger right there. Nice. Alright. Good. There's the handle part. Now, there's another little piece that goes in here. So if I take this and I duplicate, I will move it up and rotate it. Yeah. I don't like the way it rotates like that, right? I always want things to snap. So if you press E down, hold down E and left mouse click, I can go into discrete rotation. And that means now I can rotate things discretely. That means, like, as I start to do that, I've just rotated it 90 degrees perfectly. Okay?
Discrete rotation?
Yes. And now I want to move this over like this and move it over here. Okay? And then scale down. There you go. And scale out. Yes, sir. You got to speak up.
Can you show how to take the discrete again?
Yes. You want to press down E and left mouse click, and you see you have a number of windows that pop up. Discrete rotation is right over here. Okay? And that goes for W and it goes for R. You guys should experiment with those. You will find some interesting things. Okay. So we're almost getting there with the blocking. And here's where now I will just kind of come in, do a little bit of that, and then I need I need that and that face underneath. And then watch this. I will extrude again and bring those in like so. And I will just leave them like that. And then I'll do this, watch. Vertice, select the vertice, bring it up. Bring this one here. And here. Here. Okay. And that's good for now. Yeah. Okay. All right. So got the handle done. Now I'm going to go back to this little block right here. And what you're going to really do with this is move your point back right there. Bring this down right about here. And I think it comes down a little bit further like this. And there you go. What time is it?
4:29.
Alright, cool. I'm about to stop right here. Because we can get into the high poly next on Thursday. Okay. So, the next thing I want to do is now create this little section right here, right? This little lip that this canister has. So what I'll do is I will select the faces on the top here. Okay. And then I will shift extrude. And the first thing I want to do when I do this is offset. And I can bring in the offset like so. And then I can say G again. And I can pull that up. And there you go. And then what I can do is double click the edge around that, because you see how it kind of goes up at an angle. I can then just go and scale that slightly, so there's a slight little angle like that. Okay. Nice. And you know what? Yes, sir. Speak up.
I missed the part where you made another cylinder on top of like you cut it out like some sort of tool.
Where I made the song.
It's right under the base of the trigger mechanism.
Oh, this?
Just duplicate.
This part?
No.
This part.
One below that.
The extrusion.
Oh, you talking about the extrusion?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All I did was select the faces hold down shift, click, 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 click. Yeah. Here, watch first before writing. That's the problem sometimes. Sometimes you use a write and you sometimes watch, and then if you need me to talk about it again, just write down, yeah? So I use shift and I click, right, just that way. Now you gotta be careful you're not selecting things on your back. Also, if I hold down tab, what does that do? That turns it into a paintbrush for me. So watch this. If I hold down tab, I can just quickly select. Yeah?
And that'll never paint the back side of your mesh either, will it?
I don't think it does. See? Now, I'm going to adjust this again. I'm going to scale this up a little and then scale it down just like that. There you go. All right. And there we go. And then there's one more thing we need to create, right? And that is what? The pin going through this. And the pin goes right through this thing here. And then this would be more rotated like that. See? See that?
And don't forget to add the pen to it. The other end of the pen.
Okay. Also, when modeling, switch on your ambient occlusion in the viewport. It's a little button up here. You see how you have your little buttons up here? Checkerbox board with the sphere, the light, shadows. Ambient occlusion means it will show self-shadowing. So if I click that on, you see that? See how it makes it now more easy? It's easier for me to see things. So if you go to Renderer, Viewport 2.0, click on the square box. And then you can turn up amount to 1.5. Boom. And that's the difference we get, right? It's a lot nicer. I can see the shadows of what's happening, yeah? Makes it pop. Absolutely, it makes it pop. All right. So, this is what we're going to do here today in class. This is our blocking. The end of the tutorial lecture. Let's get with it. What time you got? You've got an hour. Plenty of time.
Yes.
And let's, YouTube guy. Let's pull up the YouTube. All right, stop recording.